So I get called up, and this is around the time I played in Pembroke, Ontario, prior to going to Victoriaville, and Garth Brooks had his double live CD back then, but I had the tape version, of course. So and for my mom's car,
the 8-track.
Yeah. So you're driving into I had like the one thing that did the AC, the radio, and the right window with like when it slide down, you have to put your two hands on it to bring it back up. So, but I don't care. I make Hartford, and guys bug me about the car anyways. But then I get called up to New York, and we practice in Rye Playline, and you had to drive through security to get to the practice rink. And I pull up. I got friends in low place. I'm coming in. No one's better than me. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I got my Taurus, all my duffel bags of like whatever, all my Pee-wee teams and junior teams, everything's stuffed in it.
Your Tough Guys magazine.
Yeah, I'm coming in my Tough Guys magazine.
You get a little check the game notes. You know?
I drive in. The guy's like, you can't come in. I'm like, no, I'm here to play with the Rangers. He's like, we all are, kid. Go somewhere else.
Beat it, Sika.
Beat it, kid. I'm like, no, seriously.
What do you want signed, buddy? I'll get it signed.
I'm here for the Rangers. But again, no cell phones. So one guy has to call another guy who calls another guy. So I'm sitting there. They finally let me in, and I pull in with my Taurus. And back then, there was no salary cap. So the Rangers were they were like the Yankees when it came to spending money. You know, our first two centermen were Gretzky and LaFontaine. We had the 85 Oilers, but it was 97.
10 years
Yeah.
Yeah, they were paying guys like they must have been spending $90 million at that point.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
It was crazy. So again, I was making 300. It's good. It's prorated, everyone, whatever. But Gretz was making $6 million at the time, over 6. And we used to have these. I'll finish that story, as you guys know I bounce around. But we had everyone's paychecks. They just put in your stall back then. Right? They just put your paycheck in your stall.
Yep.
So Gretz's was there, and everyone would go home, but I'm living in a hotel. I'd take guys' paychecks, and I'd go. We used to have these heat packs for our back that sat in this disgusting soup of whatever that water was.
You'd use the tongs.
Yeah. So I take that out. I'd steam Gretz's paycheck over it, and I'd open it to see how much Gretz made. Gretz made more after taxes in 2 weeks than I would have made the entire year if I was up.
Oh yeah,
and there was no escrow then.
No escrow.
And he was underpaid too.
And yes,
I mean, for what he was doing for the league.
Like, catch me if you can. He's putting white out on Gretz's name. He's putting PJ stock.
Hey, Pitt used to give us the checks right before a road trip, and we couldn't deposit them, and they'd get the interest on them for like the 5-day road trip.
Oh,
this was before direct deposit
because everybody was like PNC Bank and stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't. They'd give it to you as you went to LA. They're like, that's 6 days of money that we're gonna make on these guys' checks. They can't cash it.
Oh, sandbaggers.
So we go. I go. They finally let me. I finally get to park, and I'm parking beside. Back then, like I said, Bruce the masseuse. Bruce had a Porsche. That's to tell you that, like, Mercedes, Beamer, everything. And here comes my Taurus. I'm sliding this bad boy in. Anyways, we used to have to drive through Westchester to go to games, and then a day of games, because it was New York City, they'd give you a hotel downtown, so you didn't have to deal with the traffic. So if you wanted to practice in the morning, you can go downtown, and then your family can come down at night, so you have to deal with the traffic at that 5 o'clock to get there for the game. And I was single, I'm going to New York City, of course, so I'm driving my Taurus. But the other guys didn't want to have to drive down and have their wives drive down and have 2 cars in New York City. So they'd pile into my car. Problem is, it was a Taurus. We had to drive through, like, Westchester, New York. So Darren Langdon, Kevin Stevens, Ulf Samuelson, Todd Harvey, they all like, yeah, I'll drive. I'm hopping in with Stalker. But we have to drive through all this nice area. And we pull up to a red light, and they just all lie down in my car like this.
They don't want to be seen.
They did not want to be seen like this. They're lying down in my car like this. And I'd pull up to a red light, and I'd lower my window, and I'd be like, I got Rangers in the car. I have Rangers in my car. And they're like, just go ahead, crazy kid. Just keep driving. And
they couldn't even get the seat back up because the Taurus is broken.
No. So I'd pull out, open the window, open the door, and here you got like a 6'3" Kevin Stevens, like kind of lying down like this. So anyways, at the end of that year, Gretz was one of my favorite human beings ever. By the way, the entire team called the car the Clitoris. So I don't know if I can say that, but I apologize.
Oh, no. We're keeping that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that's what they called it all year. All right, I'm going with Stalker and the Clitoris. But Gretz is like, kid, listen, not only are you embarrassing yourself by driving that car, You're embarrassing everyone in this room by driving that car. And not only are you embarrassing everybody in this room by driving that car, you're embarrassing everyone in the league by driving that car. You want to come back to this team next year, do not come back with that car. Call my brother, hey, Dino, you got yourself a car.